Thanks for joining us for an Every Nation Sunday sermon. This message is from our Hammersmith congregation. For more information on our church, or to see how you can be involved, please visit everynation.co.uk.
We are going to do something different in our service today. We are going to be doing our annual finance report before we get to the offering and the message. So for the next 10 minutes or so, I want to introduce you to our finance board, and I want to also, if we can just stick that up there, guys, and we want to just give you a quick report of what's happening with the money. And if you are giving money to this church, then you should be a little interested in what is happening with it. You should have a sense that this is a safe place for your finances, and this is a place where your money is being used for God's mission. If you are here and obviously we've got guests here today, apply this however you need to apply it to your own church, but if you are a regular here and you're not giving, you may want to know what is the money going to, where's it going to, how do we use it, who makes decisions. So all of that hopefully will help you, inspire you to get involved and partner with us financially to see things happen. So if I can just quickly introduce you to our finance board, and then we will see them take it on. Okay, you guys are going to have to get this thing working for us. Oops. All right. Okay, welcome to our finance report for 2016. This is our financial year running up to June this year, so the 12 months before that. I want to quickly invite you or introduce you to our finance board, our oversight. Really, we have two oversights in this church, our finance board and our elders. Won't you guys quickly come up? Waldi, Annalise, Matt, we got Paul and Alex aren't here today, and also Helen. If Helen is here, I don't know if Helen's here. Yes, she is. And then also our elders, Dan, Amanda, Ali, and also our Alex and Liz are not here today either. So just want to introduce you. These guys here are our finance board, and they are our elders, and really these are the oversight. The elders sort of oversee this, are stewards of the vision and the values of the church, so wherever we're going, and that's what that is about. And the finance board are the oversight and the stewards of our resources, making sure that we are good stewards of everything that God gives us in this house through all of us here. And really those two come together to form the sort of really oversight, and those move us forward. So just give these guys a hand. They work hard behind the scenes. You never see what they're doing, but this is the rudder that's under the water and steering this ship. So thanks. I'm going to ask Matt and Waldi to stay behind up front here as we just take it away here and go through a few items with you. All right, this is Waldi and Matt, and they're both on our finance board. So Waldi, we need some microphones, guys. Have you got those organized? Okay. All right, Waldi, take it away.
Right, so I think the first thing to understand. Thanks. I think the first thing to understand is that there is several layers of governance on the finances. So firstly, the budget holders, who are the different ministry leaders, the congregation leaders, they put together a budget, submit it to the finance board, and we approve that, or we review it and then approve it, and they then have the freedom to work within those budgets during the year. And then on a monthly basis, we get reports from Helen, who works part-time for the church, who prepares income and expense reports, so we can review that on a monthly basis, see how we're going. She does that based on the work that Dina does most of the time, full-time really, during the week, accounting for all of the income during the week and the expenses. And it's a lot more than you think. There's a lot of invoices that need to be paid for all of these things we put on. So we review that on a monthly basis. And then on an annual basis, we look at the financial statements. We get the auditors in. This last year, we've had an unqualified report from the auditors again, as we've had several years in a row. And then there are other layers of governance as well. The Charity Commission review what we do, and the tax authorities can also come and do gift aid reviews on us. So I think you can rest assured that there are actually several people and organizations and institutions and layers of oversight that make sure that things are done properly.
Fantastic. All right, Waldi, take it away. Give us
Matt, I think you're doing the first number here.
All right, we're going to look at 11 important numbers today, just to do it a little differently. We don't want to stick up a boring balance sheet or spreadsheet up there. So here are 11 important numbers that will help you to understand some of the finances in the church. Matt, take it away.
Okay. So first number you can see up on the screen there is 448,654. This is the total amount of tithes and offerings received in the last financial year. So big thank you for giving. There's an amazing amount of faithful and committed givers in the house. And this is really the foundation that our finances are built on. So please do continue to give regularly and prayerfully. And these tithes and offerings have an amazing impact, both locally, in the local church community and beyond. It's a little bit down on last year, it's about 17,000 down. But we did receive a particularly large gift last year. So we're still in a really healthy place with our tithes and offerings. So thank you.
The next number there is 96,000, almost 97,000. That is gift aid, which we receive from the government. It's a large portion of our income. I want to encourage you with gift aid, if you just sign the gift aid declaration forms, it doesn't cost you anything and we can claim that back. It's a once-off exercise you need to do as well. It is a significant amount that we get. And if you, depending on your tax rate, you personally can also claim back gift aid or your giving. When you're filling your tax return, so it is definitely worthwhile doing that. The next number, 530,000, is our total expenditure. That is pretty much in line with last year. We watch the expenditure very closely. I must say that the budget holders, they certainly turn over every penny. They make sure that they spend it very wisely. So we are quite comfortable that the money is being spent for our mission and our purpose of making disciples and making a difference. It's not spent on any frivolous stuff.
Fantastic. The next number is what we had as surplus last year, so that's always good to have a surplus, right? So we typically budget a higher expenditure than our previous year's income. We mix wisdom and faith together because we're on a mission, we're stretching, we're believing. But this was our surplus last year, and you might wonder what we do with our surplus. All right, it gets invested in a few parts of areas where we feel we want to expand, where there's opportunity for us to expand. And if we have anything beyond that, it goes towards our property fund. It goes into our property fund every year. So last year we had 15,000 extra. And it also at the end of the year, actually, we would have had a lot more than that, but it gives us an opportunity when we have a surplus fund at the end of the year to bless a number of key ministries and church plants. So it was an opportunity to look at a few great ministries and some of our church plants and give them some extra cash at the end of our financial year. So they're all sending us thank yous for that. But good to have a surplus. All right, next number, Matt.
Okay, next number, slightly smaller, 1,231. That's the average cost of a Sunday service. So obviously we're committed to doing things with excellence at Every Nation London, including our Sunday services, which are a really crucial part of our ministry. But they don't happen by magic. We do have an amazing, committed, faithful team that puts things together on a Sunday, but there is a financial cost behind that, which includes things like venue hire, so this auditorium, the 4 different spaces for our kids' ministries, the vans bringing the equipment to and from the venue, and everything down to the coffee and biscuits. So that's a little over 60,000 a year to present our Sunday services, which I think is good value for money. And, you know, it's a... I would say that, wouldn't I? But I hope you'd agree with me. But, you know, for a continued presence in one of the most expensive cities on the planet, that's not bad. Just over 60,000 a year.
Fantastic. All right. The next 2 numbers I'll do together. The first one is our London Central and Apostolic Fund. So this is a big number. And the next one, the one after that, is our tithe to every nation, through which we really support our Europe and our international work. So these 2 numbers together really are what we do to oversee and to expand beyond this house. All right. So to oversee our London congregations, our different congregations, to fund them. Slough is still running at a deficit every year, and there's some amazing things happening there, but we fund that to help them make it, and they're getting it to a good place. Stratford pays its own bills now, but this is the central functions that we have to oversee that and expand that. And all of our church planting in Europe and internationally, and all our conferences and helping train pastors and all that stuff comes out of these 2 numbers. So you can see that's a fairly significant amount of money. And I just want to say again with these numbers, we are committed to living beyond ourselves. And that's why these numbers are so large. We are not just here for ourselves. If we kept all this money out for ourselves, we could have not just tea and biscuits, but steak every Sunday. All right, but we are committed to living beyond ourselves, and these numbers represent that. And our partnership with our Every Nation family around the world, and this is a huge privilege for us. All right, next number, Matt.
Okay, so that number is 214,325. That's the total cost for staffing and partnership in the church. So whilst we're reliant on our teams of volunteers, we do have a phenomenal staff team, which is made up of full-time salaried, part-time salaried, church and partnership supported, and our intern, Jordan, as well. You can see the names of the people under those various headings on the slide behind me. So again, I think that represents excellent value for money, and that is an amazing staff team. And again, your tithes and offerings help to facilitate that.
And I do know that some of you, quite a few of you, support partnership-supported staff. If you don't know about that, we'll explain it at some point. But thank you for partnering with staff, not just locally here, but across Europe and the world financially as well. Thank you if you're part of that. If you'd like to find out about that, supporting missionaries, partnering with them monthly, please do talk to us as well about that. Tracy, Jarvid, and Lydia are those in our house who are on that sort of arrangement. Okay, the next number is total property fund, 376. This is what we have saved, put aside for our property fund, because even as we've moved into the hub, and we've made that commitment. We've got a 6-year lease on the hub with a 3-year break clause, so it's not a long-term commitment. This isn't the answer for us, but it is a big step, a positive step that we are taking. It's going to cost us an extra $3,000 a month to fund that. But obviously our last office was really, we hadn't had an increase, rental increase for 16 years there, so we've had to take a jump, all right. But the property fund really is something that is fed through individuals feeling that they want to give over and above their tithes to the property fund every now and again or regularly, and some of our surpluses, if there is a surplus annually, some of that going into our property fund. So over the years, this is the fund we've built up for our property vision in the future. So we'll keep feeding that. If you want to support that, if you want to sow into it, just you can do that anytime. But this is what we've got so far. This is a seed for what we're going to do in the future. Amen. So thank you for being a part of that as well. All right, the final number, or not the final number, number 10.
Number 10 is 14,033. That is what we give for general needs. It's just over $1,000 a month. We are committed to meeting people's needs and putting aside money to meet those needs. And you should remember we also have the £50 food vouchers available. If you or anybody you know is in food poverty, please speak to your Connect group leader, one of the pastors, maybe a finance board member, and we can arrange for you to get those food vouchers. I'm always reminded of the church in Acts, the early church, where they said they had everything in common and that nobody lacked anything. So we are really committed to making sure that people do not struggle.
Fantastic. All right, if you have any of the questions on those numbers, we're not going to open up to the floor today, but we will have the finance board up front here. And of course, you can ask any questions anytime, okay? We have nothing to hide. Anything you want to ask, any more detail on that, anytime, and we'll be up here, the financial board, and Helen, our financial administrator, and Dina can help to answer any of those questions. But are you ready for the final number? All right, the final number is this number 80. And the number 80 is the average number of people or giving units. So sometimes a couple like Ellie and I, with our tithe, we would just make up one of those numbers. Giving units that give regularly on average over the year. So 80 units a month give. So if you only give every second month, you'll only be half of one of those numbers, if you understand. But whatever that is, I want to thank you, first of all, for your generous, faithful support if you do make up those numbers. Okay, if you're part of that, thank you. This is amazing. This house is a house that has been blessed to be a blessing. We have a vision that is way beyond ourselves. This is a miracle place when it comes to finances. And we don't splash out on ourselves, but we want to splash out for the kingdom across Europe and the world. So thank you for being part of that number. We have a vision that we want to see, that's the number we want to see increase. Not necessarily in reflecting huge increases in amount, but it increases of seeing you, if you're not part of that, to say, well, I want to become more regular in my giving And it's not about us all giving equally, but it's us sacrificing equally. So I just want to encourage you, are you part of that number? And could you become part of that number in the next year? Could you help us move that number up to 100 by the end of the next financial year? Wouldn't it be amazing if we could have that number read 100 next year this time? And so wherever you want to start with that, I want to encourage you, can you get involved and give? There are just a reminder quickly of the ways to give. You can give online on our website or with our bank account, directly to our bank account. The details on our website, or ask Dina about that. You can obviously give by envelope or by cash, which we do every Sunday. When you see these baskets coming around and they're emptied, it does, obviously you've seen now that it doesn't mean that our bank account is empty, right? Because a lot of us have gone electronically, and I must say a lot of us, I've just gone electronically. Ellie and I have just gone electronic, so you can give us a hand, okay? I used to really love putting the envelope in there, but I realized it's a lot of administration, extra admin, and it is a lot easier to give electronically. And soon and very soon, we will have our own church app. In the next month or so, we'll have a church app from which you can listen to all the messages, get all the communication, all in one place, and you'll be able to give through your app very easily. So it's all going to come down to one place. So thank you for all your faithful and your generous financial partnership. I trust that as you hear these numbers, as you see them, you see a church that is on mission for Jesus.